I was not going to speak about this, but I've just realized maybe for my own safety, I should just speak about it. My name is Anifa Wanjiru Mango, and I go by the name Wanjiru the Boss Chick on social media. I'm an alumni of Butere Girls High School, and I was the lead actress in Shackles of Doom during our time when it was banned. Shackles of Doom was banned essentially because they were saying we were spreading hate speech. During that time, the theme of the festival was to enhance national cohesion and integration. But our play was against that and spreading hate speech. And that is why they decided, oh, we are going to prevent them from performing. We were able to go to court, got orders. And in the evening in Mombasa, we performed. The hall was full to the brim. I remember it like yesterday. We were able to perform. In that play, I, who was Wamaida, was being married off to the Kana communities. We were just creating the illusion of Kana community. We had discovered oil in Turkana, and then now I was to get married to that community in exchange for my people to get a piece of land in Turkana, which they did. Got in, built an oil refinery. 15 years later, they started employing people. For the highest paying positions were going to my community. The Njeris, the Kamau, the Kimani. My community, of course, is Kikuyu when you look at it. And the low paying positions are going to the Kana community. So they are saying, oh, this place is not enhancing integration and cohesion. It is just intensifying hate speech. Okay? Which is quite delusional, because in reality that was what was happening. So I don't know why they were insisting for us to act something that is not happening on the ground. But anyway, we managed and performed it. Okay? Fast forward 2025. Here we are dealing with the echoes of war. Echoes of War is just the plight of the Gen Z. It's portraying the plight of the Gen Z. So ni woga tu pia wanauza tu. There's nothing to it. There's nothing more to it. Let me just explain the synopsis for you, okay? In this play, it is saying, the play underscores the plight of the Gen Zs as witnessed in various jurisdictions across the world, which is true. The play is set in a fictional kingdom in an Islamic state, which is slowly healing from a civil war. Okay? So it is in the period of recovering and healing that country. So by this reality, the Gen Zs now find themselves in a position where they want to liberate that country from deep-rooted vices that, in their view, are delaying that country from rebuilding itself to a better version. Okay? So the Gen Z's harbor aspiration for better healthcare, better education system that is responsive to the emerging trends of technology, a better justice system that is blind to corruption but is rooted in the letter and spirit of the Constitution. They essentially wanted a better beginning for their country since it was recovering from a civil war. Okay. So against this backdrop, there's a fourth-year student who's called Mustafa, who developed a software that hopes will link sick patients to a pool of doctors and surgeons across the world in a way to relieve the citizens from that bad health infrastructure and acute shortage of doctors. Okay? So this software that has been created by Mustafa is recognized by the Sultan. Remember, I've told you it's an Islamic state. It is recognized by the Sultan, who rewards him for his invention. However, as a show of patriotism, Mustafa is told to surrender his social media handles to the state. It is then discovered that during that period when he does surrender those social media handles, he had posted offensive content on his timeline during the war. So Mustafa is a frequent user of artificial intelligence, okay? Which is a software that is personified in the play as Anifa Imana. The girl who is acting the character of AI is called Anifa Imana, who is a young, super intelligent girl who has access to Mustafa's social media logins. In the end, the play teaches young people about the good and bad that is associated with unregulated internet and software. Sultan, recognizing the special place the younger generations hold in rebuilding the war-torn kingdom, elevates them to a critical decision-making platform where their creativity, energy, and common purpose are needed. So if you look at this play, it is just calling out for the older generations, all the older leaders to integrate Gen Zs into their decision making. that they have got more to offer. They now know more in terms of technology and innovation, and we want them to be brought on board. That is just essentially what this play is depicting. There is no political undertone in this play. So hiyo woga wanauza hai-exist. So when Malala reached out and he was like, oh, you know, Anifa, what happened to you during Shackles of Doom has also happened to Echoes of War. I told him, Mheshimiwa, I'm going to petition on their behalf. We did that, went petition, got orders, and the girls were set to perform and come back to school. But them arresting Mheshimiwa just a day before the girls perform, with no deca, no costume, and they want them to perform early in the morning where there is no proper audience. Because if you have been in drama festival, asubuhi hakuna audience mzuri ya watu watch whatever you want to perform. So they wanted them to just do it and get over with it. But we told the girls, no, just go there and sing the national anthem and make history that way. Because if you're going to do a mediocre performance with no deca, with no costume and no audience, what's the point of doing it? And then eventually they are releasing Mheshimiwa later during the day, after everything has settled. At this point, even going back to court is pointless. What are you going to do in court? Because you already have orders for them to perform. So what are you going to do in court? Today is Friday. I believe by today or tomorrow, these festivals are over. So Malala has decided that the best way forward is for him to get adult actors and actresses to perform that play, because I believe the parents will not allow the children to perform outside school. So he's gonna have to look for characters to perform that play, and we hope that you will come and watch, because it will just be a public play. Everyone will be invited to watch. And I'm shooting this video that in case anybody thinks of abducting people, my mother will have somewhere to start from, but I don't think I'm that important to be abducted by the government. In any case, a country that is not respecting the rule of law is a doomed country. We can't live in a country where we have orders, but there are people who just feel like we are going to use extra judicial force and go against the rule of law. I've seen newsletters issued out by the Chief Justice, but what's the point of issuing them out if already the orders have been disobeyed with? What's the point? Unless now they tell our girls are going to perform. They're given their own day and allowed to perform. But if that is not going to happen, what's the point of issuing out all these notices? For what purpose? The order has already been disobeyed. So we really need to live in a better country. There is nothing to fear in these Echoes of War. There's nothing to fear. It's just a very written, good play. Okay?